friends. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I love doing these calls. A lot of the time I call them stories of hope. But we love bringing a theme into it. And thyroid is definitely something that a lot of people deal with, and it really affects your whole living. And so we wanted to be able to bring to you some power behind hearing some transformational stories, first of all, to give you hope, but also bring you some information that you might be able to take away from this to support your body, to feel better. Or maybe you know someone that is struggling in this space and you can pass it along to them. I believe knowledge is power when we use it properly. And so just simply sharing this with someone that it could empower them can be and powerful, right? So I am going to turn it over to my friend Joy, and she's going to share a snippet of her story first.
Thank you. So, hello, my name is Joy, and I am a registered dietitian, and I have been using Plexus products for over 2.5 years now. And my thyroid story started actually 12 years ago. And I think, and that's when I discovered that I had a thyroid issue. But, looking back at the symptoms that I dealt with, I think it was going on for a long time. I had been doing some more intense activities like roller derby, training for half marathons that year. But I had an active lifestyle, and I, wasn't eating terrible. I'm a dietitian, but my body actually started showing, some concerning signs. My hair loss increased. I always did have a lot of hair loss, but it really, like, I was at a hair appointment, and my friend who was doing, washing my hair, she was just like, this isn't normal, when she, in the bottom of her sink washing my hair. And so she just recommended me getting it checked out. So, I was still active, but the energy part or how it presented with energy level was that I almost feel like it was almost like being depressed. I would have days where I wanted to do things, but I just had no motivation. And it wasn't that, I didn't have a desire. It wasn't that I was sad. It was just really a struggle with motivation on those days. And then, I'd get going and it'd be okay. But, with the hair loss, I ended up going to my naturopathic doctor, and we drew labs. And she, thank goodness I went to a naturopathic doctor, because she, investigated my hair loss. She was running through to see, and she said, well, let's just check your labs. And then when they came back normal, they were still in the normal range, but they were at the low end. And she, looking at the whole picture, said, let's just give you a little bump, some Armour thyroid, and see what happens, and just check your labs again. And it was amazing getting that bump. My body, dropped 10 pounds, but that's it. It just, it had a little 10-pound drop. And I, that struggle with motivation went away. And my hair didn't fall out as fast as it had been, but it still, it seemed to have slowed down. And so from then on, that was in 2012. And so I just had, I kept up getting that prescription. And when I changed providers, when I moved, I actually had to fight to get that prescription, it's still reordered, because they're like, you're in the normal range. And I'm like, no, you don't, listen here. I need it. And then I did have a lapse. I had my second baby. I had a lapse of taking the Armour thyroid. And about, when she was about 4 months old, I could feel those symptoms starting to come back. The hair loss was more. And, so I got back on it. Then my daughters were, let's say, 2.5 years later. So, or 2.5 years ago, my daughters were 6. I had been just sticking with the prescription, fighting for it. And, then Plexus entered my life, and I did not think that I had an unhealthy gut, but I had to take a thyroid medication, and I still had stubborn weight. So I said, when I first got on my thyroid medication, I had a 10-pound drop, but then that was it. My weight was still stubborn no matter what I did. And And I had anxiety, and I had, irritability, so irritable that was related to my anxiety. And I had blood sugar swings that would go up and down, those are all, hormone related, just like thyroid is. I mean, your thyroid levels are affected by your hormone fluctuations. And also if you have any kind of systemic inflammation going on. I mean, I know that now. I, so I started on our triplex. I healed my gut, which I, again, didn't think I had an unhealthy gut.
Show you that I can do it.
But, with healing the gut, finally weight came off without the effort that I had to put in before. And I am happy to say that I have a baby boy that's turning 1 next month. I didn't suffer the hair loss that is typical with after breastfeeding, after having a baby, and I'm not on my thyroid medication anymore. And so I haven't, it's almost been a year since I've had it. And like I said, I recognized the signs of it when it was creeping up on me before Plexus, when I stopped my thyroid medication. And I'm not having to deal with that. I have energy, and it's really wonderful to not have to fight for a prescription. It's really wonderful to not have to worry about getting a prescription refilled and finding a provider that's, going to listen to me, because finally my labs, my body's working like it's supposed to. I don't need that artificial thyroid bump anymore. And so my body's just finally working, like it's supposed to. And that's what the gut health, the foundation of health, does, when it calms down, everything, and just helps it work like it's supposed to. So
I love that. We're gonna say it's hypothyroidism,
yeah.
that basically
Yes,
you're
I was definitely low.
right on
Mm-hmm.
the edge of the hypothyroidism.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of different thyroid things.
Yes, but this was hypothyroidism that I was dealing with, and then with
Right.
the hair loss and the low energy, and yeah,
Yeah.
and needing
And
that bump of artificial thyroid. Yeah, that's what Armour thyroid is. It's pig thyroid, actually. And I'm glad I don't have to take anything that comes from a pig. Yeah.
face thyroid. Thanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing, Joy. So thankful that you have some of that freedom now. That's super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Bree, I'm going to turn it over to you to share your story.
Okay. Hi, I'm Brina. I've been using Plexus for the last 4 months. Joy shared it with me, which was amazing. I have been on thyroid medication for the last 20 years. Every single morning, it's been kind of miserable. So after about a month in, well, a couple weeks in, I talked to my doctor, because I was kind of like Joy. My story is pretty similar, energy, all of that, when I had first started on the meds. And so I talked to my doctor, and I was like, look, like I had hypothyroidism, but it wasn't super low, just kind of like borderline. And I was like, do you think I could stop taking my medication? I'm doing these supplements, feeling good. Do you think I could stop taking it? So she said, yes, let's recheck it in 2 months. And at the 2-month mark, rechecked it. And she was like, you don't need it anymore. Your thyroid is normal. So that was really nice, because taking that dang pill every single day for the last 20 years and worrying about getting my prescription filled and paying for it, was a lot. I also, before I started Plexus, was bloated, tons of bloating. I wasn't sleeping well. I've struggled with that for years, tried all the things under the sun of, natural ways, nothing crazy, to help me sleep, and nothing has really helped too much. But within like 3 days of starting Plexus, I was sleeping through the night. Like, it has been amazing. That has been really good. My bloating is gone. My appetite is better. I feel more energetic. So it's been an excellent change.
Brina, with you, I'm curious. So 20 years, I'm assuming you weren't just like borderline, you were hypothyroidism. Do you
Yes,
kind
I
of
don't
know where
remember.
your numbers were?
Yeah, and at the time, obviously, I knew something was wrong when I went in. And yeah, I mean, they never really had to adjust my meds. I mean, very rarely. I was just kind of on the lower dose. And So like I said, when I went to her and was like, do you think I could try taking, stop taking it and see where I'm at? And she was like, go for it. So, yeah, now they're completely normal and I don't need it.
That's amazing. Did you ever in those 20 years try and get off of them either?
Nope. I just did what I was told, went and got my prescription, took it every day. And it definitely is like freedom, not having to worry about when I go on a trip and having to have my meds with me, and now I'm like, I just have to have my Plexus. And I want to have it. I don't want to go without it. That was different.
It's a totally different kind of crutch.
Yeah. Yeah. I want this one. And
It
it's
is
helping
literally
me.
the first thing I pack every time I go on
Oh
a
yeah.
trip. I get my supplements all together.
Yeah. I have never
I can
forgotten
go
mine,
butt
thank
naked
goodness.
as long as I have my Plexus.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yes. I agree for sure.
I love
Yeah,
that.
it's been
Okay, does
it's been
anyone have
awesome.
any questions for either Joy or Brina real quick? Oh, okay. I pull this up. Have a cute little short little presentation I have for you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the thyroid and some natural things that you might want to know about it. All right, everyone see the screen? Cool. All right. So unlocking wellness, thyroid and the gut connection real quick. Okay. I'm not going to go too crazy into this. So the thyroid is affected by multiple different things. One of the biggest things is our gut. There is not a single system of our body that the gut does not have an effect on. Okay. So when we're looking at a healthy thyroid function, we also need to look at a healthy gut. And that's both of what Brina and Joy touch base on is they got their gut healthy. Brina, maybe with the bloating all the time, noticed that there was something, but Joy didn't experience that. She had no idea. But in getting her gut healthier, she started having healthier thyroid levels. So thyroid hormone conversion, part of that is the gut. Okay. I got to minimize you guys because I can't read half of my screen. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So healthy gut environment is necessary for the conversion of inactive thyroid hormone T4 to activate T3. So when you get your tests run, there's multiple different numbers they run for thyroid function, but they are looking at your T4s and your T3s and your TSH. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's totally fine. These predominantly occur in the liver and peripheral tissue. So if you talk about the liver is in the gut. Okay. So once again, we're talking about gut here. Immune regulation. The gut is a major site of immune activity. 70% of your immune system is in your gut. Imbalances in the gut microbiome can lead to disruption and dysregulation in the immune system, contributing to autoimmune thyroid such as Hashimoto's and Graves' disease. So Hashimoto's and Graves' disease are both thyroid autoimmune disorders. Okay. And when we're looking at autoimmune, we always want to go to the gut. It doesn't just need to be thyroid. Okay. So they're always stemming from some underlying gut issues. So if you are looking at Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, those kinds of things, there's absolutely a component where we really need to focus on getting that gut healthier to get your immune system stronger to help fight the autoimmune disorder that's taking place. As an autoimmune disorder, I can speak to this for lengths.
And and I was just like, and just the fact that we know people with Hashimoto's and Graves'
and Graves'
disease
disease.
no longer need
Yeah.
their medications.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yes, exactly. Inflammation and autoimmunity. So dysbiosis or imbalance of the gut bacteria lead to systemic inflammation. Systemic means all over your body and increase the risk of autoimmune disorders. Okay. So if we have an unhealthy gut, we're more likely to experience inflammation, more likely to experience autoimmune disorder, all of those kinds of things. They're all interconnected. Also nutrients absorption. When we're dealing with thyroid issues, there's some necessary necessary and essential nutrients that we need for the thyroid to have healthy function, looking at iodine, selenium, zinc, those kinds of things. And when you have an unhealthy gut, most people are going to deal with what we call as malabsorption. And that means your body is not absorbing as much nutrients as it should. And we're going to be looking at deficiencies in various different nutrient levels. And if you're deficient in these levels, your thyroid function is going to be down. Okay, now we're going to talk about insulin and thyroid. Okay, so insulin is our master hormone. It's produced in the pancreas. We're going to take a real quick trip back to where we just were with the gut health. Your pancreas is also in your gut. Ding, ding, ding. So once again, our interconnection. Its primary role is to support blood sugar levels and facilitate glucose uptake into the cells for energy production. Okay, how is this connected to the thyroid? So insulin and thyroid hormones share a complex interplay that influences metabolic processes and energy regulation throughout the body. So where we're talking about the low energy, people with thyroid issues, especially if you're looking at like Hashimoto's, it's dragging through the mud exhaustion. And if you think about kind of this play of this metabolic process energy regulation, that is so much of why insulin resistance is coming into play here. Insulin is essential also for the conversion of T4 to its active form of T3, like we were just kind of talking about within the cells. This conversion is crucial for thyroid hormone efficiency in controlling metabolism. Efficacy. That says efficacy, doesn't it? Okay, so we need our insulin to be at a balance level. If our insulin is doing this and this and this and this is also referred to as our blood sugar, riding that blood sugar roller coaster. If you have felt that crash in the afternoon, that is your blood sugar crashing. And that tells us right there that your blood sugar is not at a healthy level, because you should not have those ups and downs, highs and lows, get shaky and cranky and turn into a diva. That is not healthy. If you were wondering, it's not normal. It's also not hereditary. FYI, I thought that for a lot of years because my grandma and my mom also had it. It's not. It's just our lifestyle is why we have that. Okay, so moving on to, so insulin resistance is actually something 93% of the population has, which is not good. It occurs when cells become less responsive to insulin signals, leading to elevated blood sugar levels and increased insulin production. AKA, we've got blood sugar issues. This does also not mean diabetes. If you have diabetes, you're insulin resistant. We have blood sugar issues. People that have not been diagnosed with any kind of blood sugar issue still have blood sugar issues. Okay. Chronic insulin resistance impacts the thyroid in a couple different ways. Decreased conversion. So insulin resistance may impair conversion of T4 to T3 we're just talking about. So suboptimal thyroid hormone levels, slow metabolism. A lot of people with thyroid issues struggle with what? Their weight. Thyroid hormone binding. Insulin resistance can alter thyroid hormone binding proteins, affecting their transport availability in the bloodstream. We want those things circulating. It's important. And then here's one other massive key, and Joy touched base on inflammation. Insulin resistance leads to inflammation. And if you are looking at autoimmune diseases, there is inflammation. Okay, it's stemming from gut issues and there's inflammation involved. That's what autoimmune is it's an inflammatory disease. Okay, so insulin resistance equals inflammation, inflammation equals autoimmune. And so we're kind of in this spiral. We're looking at the big three of blood sugar, insulin, gut health, and inflammation. Okay, and all three of those are super important to have in a healthy, balanced state, to have a healthy, balanced body, a healthy working thyroid. Okay, so importance of balanced insulin levels. Maintaining them is crucial for supporting thyroid health and metabolic function. So some quick and easy ways to help with balanced blood sugar levels. Healthy diet, always. These are all going to play also into having a healthy gut and lowering your inflammation, which will also, well, all of that equals a healthier functioning thyroid. We all, FYI, are not claiming to cure anything here. We're just sharing information. So healthy whole foods that you buy on the perimeter of the grocery store and you make yourself. That's a key right there. Like fruits and vegetables and meats, those kinds of things, low in refined sugar. We don't want your crap carbohydrates, like your goldfish ain't gonna cut it. We want to move our bodies regularly. We want to move your body every day. That's going to help with your insulin. It's going to help with your metabolic health. If there's a weight loss component, obviously, help build your muscle, which is very important. And stress management. So chronic stress and elevated cortisol. Stress is cortisol. Your cortisol levels are high, contribute to insulin resistance. That's also a huge contributor to inflammation. And if you live in a high stress state, you're likely, a lot of people hold that stress in their stomach as well, and they start dealing with gut issues because their body's just like this all the time. Okay, so if we can keep that stress down, we can have a healthier body all around. Okay. Oh, hold on. There we go. I stopped sharing and the only thing I saw was this big presentation screen, not you guys. Okay, so a quick little rundown as well. We support that. Joy was talking about the triplex. We use 3 simple products. This is my thought process. Those things, moving your body, eating healthy, and keeping your stress down are incredible for all of it, right? If you are not supplementing, you are missing a massive piece of the body, piece of the cake, piece of the pie, piece of the puzzle, because supplementation is proven to be essential. We have to supplement, and you're also, that is a part of being healthy now. And so if you want healthy thyroid function, you want to keep your inflammation levels down, you want to keep that weight off, if you want to feel good, not be dragging through the mud exhausted, have a functioning thyroid, supplementation is part of that process. The healthiest people I know, guess what they do? They supplement. They also eat healthy and they move their bodies and they prioritize sleep and keeping their stress down. Okay. So it is all part of the puzzle that's really important. And that's kind of what we wanted to share here for you guys today. This is recorded, so if you have someone you feel like this would bless, please reach out to the person that sent it to you, because we want to get as much information out, help as many people as possible. We appreciate you being here. Anyone, go ahead, Joy.
Yes. I just also wanted to share about supplementation, about the importance of methylated vitamins and your thyroid, because I actually was helping somebody yesterday get started, has Hashimoto's, and she buys really expensive multivitamins. She's anemic. And I was like, yeah, you need methylated. She's like, I think they are. They're expensive. And we looked, and no, they're not.
Methylated, expensive and methylated are not equal.
No. And then she even found this other one that on that other company's website that was supposedly a thyroid support, and it said with methyl blah blah, blah methylfolate, but it wasn't completely methylfolate. They just threw in there with, because so they said they could say they had it. It wasn't complete.
It's like
Yeah.
and, right? So it's like
we
folic
sprinkled a little
acid
bit in there
and methyl.
so
I've
that
seen
charge you
that.
more. Yeah.
And like I've seen that with like vitamin A. There's a couple different versions of vitamin A. So they can put this kind and this kind. And I'm not calling out like saying any of them bad, but yeah. So if you don't know what she's talking about, super quick and dirty, there's this gene mutation that 40% of the population has. If you have a low functioning thyroid issues, you more than likely have this gene mutation. It's MTHFR, abbreviated. I don't know what the long word is.
It's a really long word.
It's really long. It's like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So MTHFR, you cannot, it's really, really difficult for your body to convert folic acid, which is a synthetic form of folate. Synthetic means fake, man-made kind of situation, to what you need as folate. So if you are supplementing with folic acid, your body is going to likely end up at a toxic level. You'll see a lot of thyroid, very similar thyroid supplements and that kind of stuff higher in things like folic acid, but you don't actually want to consume folic acid. We want to look at a methylated folate because that it's already converted so your body doesn't have to work as hard and it can actually absorb it. So if you're looking at any kind of supplements or also fortified foods, folic acid is in a lot of like cereals and protein powders and that kind of stuff, and it is not, it's the fake version. So that's something you always want to be aware of and clear of, is avoiding that folic acid. And also L-methylfolate is the good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good little note, Joy.
Well,
All right,
it's
thank you so
really
much for being here, you
Mhm.
guys. I super appreciate your time, and we look forward to helping you.
Bye-bye.